Life, my friends, is a magnificent journey. A journey that often requires us to stand tall even when we find ourselves standing alone. Today, we are going to explore a powerful truth. If you want to be strong, you must learn how to fight alone. Let's pause for a moment and really let that sink in. If you want to be strong, learn how to fight alone. These words might seem daunting at first, perhaps even a little scary. But I promise you, within this challenge lies the key to unlocking your true potential. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need others to succeed. We are bombarded with messages about teamwork, collaboration, and the power of community. And do not get me wrong, these are all wonderful things. But in our rush to connect and belong, we sometimes forget the immense power that resides within each of us as individuals. Think about it. Every great achievement in history began with a single person who dared to dream, who had the courage to take that first step alone. Whether it was Martin Luther King Jr. standing up for civil rights, or Marie Curie pursuing her groundbreaking research in a male-dominated field. These individuals did not wait for permission or approval. They fought alone, at least at first, driven by their convictions and their... But what does it really mean to fight alone? It is not about isolating yourself or rejecting help when it is offered. No, fighting alone is about developing the inner strength and resilience to stand by your beliefs. Pursue your dreams and overcome challenges, even when no one else is standing beside you. It is about having the courage to say yes when everyone else is saying no. It is about having the strength to say no when everyone else is saying yes. It is about trusting your own judgment, even when doubt creeps in and the voices around you grow loud with criticism or fear. I can almost hear some of you thinking, but is not that selfish? Should not we be focusing on coming together, not standing apart? And that's a valid question. When you learn to fight alone, you actually become a stronger, more valuable member of any team or community. Why? Because you bring to the table a sense of self-reliance, a depth of character, and a wealth of personal experience that can only be gained through individual struggle and triumph. You become a pillar of strength that others can lean on, a beacon of inspiration that lights the way for those still finding their path. Let me share a personal story with you. Years ago, I found myself at a crossroads in my career. I had a comfortable job, a steady paycheck, and the approval of my peers. But deep down, I knew I was not living my... I had a burning desire to write, to speak, to share the insights I'd gained on my spiritual journey. When I first voiced this desire, I was met with skepticism and concern. Why rock the boat? They said. You have a good thing going. Even those closest to me advised caution. And for a while I listened. I stayed in my comfort zone, ignoring the whispers of my soul. But the whispers grew louder until they became a roar I could not ignore. And so, despite the doubts and the fears, despite the lack of support, I made the decision to step into the unknown. I left my job with no guarantee of success to pursue my calling. Those first few months were tough. There were moments of crushing self-doubt, nights spent wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. But slowly, step by step, I began to build a new life aligned with my true self. And you know what? As I found the strength to stand alone, to fight for my dreams, something magical happened. People began to take notice. They were drawn to the authenticity, the passion, the sense of purpose that now radiated from me. What started as a solitary journey became a movement touching the lives of millions. But none of it would have happened if I hadn't first found the courage to fight alone. I'm not sharing this story to boast. I am sharing it because I want you to understand that the strength to fight alone resides within each and every one of you. It is not some special gift reserved for a chosen few. It is your birthright as a human being waiting to be claimed. How do we cultivate this strength? How do we learn to fight alone? Let me offer you some guidance, some stepping stones on this path to personal power. First and foremost, you must get to know yourself. I mean, really know yourself. Not the self that you present to the world, not the self that others expect you to be, but your true. This requires quiet reflection, deep introspection, and often a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. You spend time in silence each day. Meditate, journal, take long walks in nature. Ask yourself the big question: what do I truly value? What brings me joy? What are my deepest fears? What would I do if I knew I could not? The answers may surprise you, challenge you, even scare you a little. But in facing them, you begin to build a solid foundation of self-knowledge upon which all else will stand. Next, you must learn to trust your own judgment. This does not mean you ignore the advice or opinions of others. It means you weigh that input against your own inner wisdom, your own lived experience. It means developing the discernment to know when to take guidance and when to forge your own path. This trust is not built overnight. It is forged through experience, through trial and error. Start small. Make decisions based on your own judgment in low-stakes situations. Pay attention to the outcomes. Learn from your successes and your failures. Over time, you all develop a finely tuned inner compass that will guide you through even the most challenging situations. Learning to fight alone does not mean you have to like being alone all the time. It is natural to crave connection, to seek support and companionship. The goal is not to become a lone wolf, cut off from the world. The goal is to develop the strength and resilience to stand firm in your convictions, to pursue your dreams, even when you find yourself temporarily without allies. Think of it like learning to swim. When you first start, you might cling to the edge of the pool, afraid to let go. But as you practice, as you build strength and confidence, you begin to venture into deeper waters. You learn to float, to tread water, to swim freely. Does this mean you never again enjoy the shallow end or play with friends? Of course not. But it means you have the skills and the confidence to navigate any part of the pool, even if you find yourself there alone. Another key aspect of learning to fight alone is developing emotional resilience. Life will throw challenges your way. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. The strength to fight alone comes from knowing that you can weather these storms, that you can pick yourself up when you fall. This resilience is built through practice. Each time you face a challenge and come out the other side, you grow stronger. Each time you feel like giving up but choose to persevere, you build emotional muscle. Embrace these difficult moments as opportunities for growth. Do not shy away from discomfort or uncertainty. Lean into them, knowing that on the other side lies greater strength and wisdom. Talk about fear. Fear is often the biggest obstacle we face when learning to fight alone. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, these fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in unfulfilling situations, preventing us from pursuing our dreams. It is a liar. Fear tells us we are not strong enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough to succeed on our own. Fear whispers that we need others to validate us, to protect us, to show us the way. But when you learn to fight alone, you discover that you are far stronger, far more capable than fear would have you believe. How do we confront these fears? We acknowledge them. We shine a light on them. We say, yes, I am afraid, but I am going to take action anyway. Every time you act in the face of fear, you chip away at its power over you. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and taking action anyway. And that, my friends, is the essence of fighting alone. We delve deeper into this journey of self-discovery and inner strengths. I want to address something important. Learning to fight alone does not mean you have to reinvent the wheel every time you face a challenge. It does not mean rejecting the wisdom of those who have gone before you. In fact, one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal when fighting alone is the ability to learn from others while maintaining your own unique perspective. Think of the great thinkers, innovators, and change makers throughout history. They did not emerge from a vacuum. They stood on the shoulders of giants, learning from those who came before them, then using that knowledge as a launching pad for their own ideas and Read voraciously. Study the lives of those you admire. Seek out mentors and teachers. But always filter what you learn through the lens of your own experience and intuition. Take what resonates with you, what aligns with your values and goals. This discernment, this ability to think critically and independently, is a crucial part of learning to fight alone. Another vital aspect of this journey is learning to embrace failure. Yes, you heard me right. Embrace failure. In our society, we're often taught to fear failure, to see it as a sign of weakness or inadequacy. But when you're fighting alone, failure becomes your greatest teacher. Every failure, every setback, every no you receive is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to refine your approach. When you're not relying on others to catch you when you fall, you learn to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. You develop a resilience that no amount of success can teach you. I remember early in my writing career, I received rejection after rejection from publishers. Each one stung. Each one made me question my path. But instead of giving up, I chose to see these rejections as feedback. I honed my craft, refined my message, and kept putting my work out there. And eventually, those no's turned into yeses. But more importantly, I developed the inner strength to keep going regardless of external validation. Talk about the power of solitude. In our hyper-connected world, we often equate being alone with being lonely. But there's a profound difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a painful state of feeling isolated, and solitude, on the other hand, is a chosen state of being alone with yourself, a space for reflection, creativity, and inner growth. When you learn to embrace solitude, you tap into a wellspring of inner resources. You become comfortable in your own skin, at peace with your own thoughts. This comfort with solitude becomes a source of strength when you find yourself fighting alone. Cultivate times of solitude in your life. Start with just a few minutes a day if that's all you can manage. Gradually increase this time. Use it for meditation, for creative pursuits, for simply being present with yourself. You might be surprised at the insights and ideas that emerge when you give yourself this space. You grow stronger in your ability to fight alone. You'll likely find that your relationships with others actually improve. Why? Because you're no longer approaching these relationships from a place of need or dependency. You're coming from a place of wholeness, of self-sufficiency. You have something unique and valuable to offer, and you're not afraid to stand in your truth. This strength allows you to be more authentic in your interactions. You are not constantly seeking approval or validation. You are able to set healthy boundaries, to say no when you need to stand up for your beliefs even when they're unpopular. And paradoxically, this authenticity often draws people to you. They are attracted to your confidence, your self-assurance, your willingness to be true to yourself. I want to address a common misconception about fighting alone. Some people hear this idea and think it means you should never ask for help, never collaborate, never lean on others. Nothing could be further from the truth. Learning to fight alone does not mean you always have to fight alone. It means you have the strength to stand on your own when you need to, but also the wisdom to know when to seek support. It is about having the choice, the freedom to decide when to go it alone and when to join forces with others. In fact, when you know how to fight alone, you become a much more valuable ally and collaborator. You bring a unique perspective, a strong sense of self, and a wealth of personal experience to any team or partnership. You're not looking for others to complete you or solve your problems. You're coming together as whole individuals to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Do not shy away from collaboration or support, but approach it from a place of strength, of choice, rather than neediness or dependency. We near the end of our time together. I want to circle back to where we started. Remember, the goal of learning to fight alone is not to isolate yourself or to prove that you do not need anyone. The goal is to tap into the wellspring of strength, wisdom, and resilience that resides within you. It is about becoming the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. When you learn to fight alone, you become unstoppable. Not because you're invincible or because you never face challenges, but because you know deep in your bones that you have the strength to face whatever life throws your way. You know that even if everyone else walks away, even if all external support crumbles, you will find a way to keep going, to keep fighting for what you believe in. This inner strength becomes a beacon of hope, not just for you, but for everyone around you. As you stand in your power, as you fight for your dreams, you inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible when we tap into our inner resources, when we dare to stand alone. I challenge you, my friends. Embrace the journey of learning to fight alone. Cultivate your inner strength. Get to know yourself deeply. Learn to trust your judgment. Develop emotional resilience. Face your fears head on. Embrace failure as a teacher. Cultivate solitude. Approach relationships from a place of, it won't always be easy. There will be times when you feel lost, afraid, uncertain. But remember, these moments are not signs of weakness. They're opportunities for growth, chances to prove to yourself just how strong you really are. As you learn to fight alone, you're never truly alone. You're connected to a long line of individuals throughout history who have dared to stand in their truth, who have had the courage to forge their own path. You're part of a community of free thinkers, of dreamers, of change makers, who understand the power of individual strength and conviction. Go forth with courage, my friends. Embrace the challenge of learning to fight alone. Trust in your own strength, your own wisdom, your own unique gifts. The world needs what only you can offer. It needs your voice, your ideas, your passion. Do not wait for permission or validation from others. Stand tall in your truth. Fight for your dreams and watch as you become a force of nature, unstoppable and inspiring. Remember, true strength does not come from never falling. It comes from rising every time you fall. It comes from facing your fears, from pushing through discomfort, from believing in yourself even when no one else does. That's what it means to fight alone. And that's how you become truly strong. You leave here today, I want you to carry this truth with you. You are stronger than you know. You are more capable than you realize. Within you lies a wellspring of power, of resilience, of wisdom. Tap into it. Trust it. Let it guide you. The journey of learning to fight alone is ongoing. It is a lifelong process of growth, of self-discovery, of becoming. Embrace it fully. Lean into the challenges. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, and always, always keep moving forward. You have everything you need within you right now to begin this journey. The strength to fight alone is your birthright. Claim it, own it, live it, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Go now and fight alone, not out of fear or isolation, but out of strength and self-assurance. Fight for your dreams, for your values, for the life you know you're meant to live. And know that as you do, you're inspiring others to do the same. The world is waiting for you to step into your power. It is waiting for you to show what's possible when one person has the courage to stand alone, to fight for what they believe in. Will you answer that call? Will you take up the challenge of learning to fight alone? I believe in you, in your strength, your resilience, your unique gifts. Now it is time for you to believe in yourself. It is time to learn how to fight alone. And in doing so, to discover just how truly strong you are. My friends, go forth with courage, with conviction, and with the knowledge that you have the strength within you to face any challenge, to overcome any obstacle. Learning to fight alone is just beginning. As you step out into the world armed with this new perspective, you'll find that every day presents opportunities to apply these principles. Remember, fighting alone is not about being rigid or inflexible. It is about having the strength to adapt, to pivot when necessary, while still staying true to your core values. It is about being like a tree, roots firmly planted in the ground of your convictions, but branches flexible enough to sway with the winds of change. In this journey, you'll discover that fighting alone often means being the one to take the first step, to be the one who speaks up when others are silent, to be the one who dares to dream big when others are content with the status quo. It is about having the courage to be a pioneer, to blaze trails where none existed before. Fighting alone does not mean you're always in conflict with the world around you. Sometimes the biggest battles you'll face will be internal. You'll grapple with self-doubt, with old habits and limiting beliefs that try to hold you back. These internal struggles are just as important, if not more so, than any external challenges you might face. You learn to fight alone, you'll develop a keen sense of discernment. You'll learn to distinguish between the voice of fear and the voice of intuition. You'll recognize when to stand firm and when to be flexible. This discernment is a powerful tool that will serve you well in all areas of your life. One of the most beautiful aspects of learning to fight alone is the freedom it brings. When you're no longer dependent on others for your sense of worth or direction, you're free to explore, to experiment, to take risks. You're free to be authentically, unapologetically you. This freedom allows you to live life on your own terms, to define success for yourself rather than accepting society's definition, to choose a path that aligns with your values and passions, even if it is not the conventional route. It is about having the courage to write your own story rather than following someone else's script. You embrace this journey, you'll find that your definition of strength evolves. Strength is not just about powering through difficulties or standing up to opposition. It is also about having the vulnerability to admit when you're wrong, the humility to learn from others, and the compassion to lift others up as you rise. Fighting alone does not mean you stop caring about others or contributing to your community. In fact, as you become stronger in yourself, you'll likely find you have even more to give. Your strength becomes a resource not just for you, but for those around you. You become a pillar that others can lean on, a source of inspiration that ignites the spark of courage in others. In this process, you'll learn the art of self-validation. You'll no longer need to look to others for approval or recognition. You'll learn to celebrate your own victories, no matter how small, to acknowledge your own growth, your own resilience. This self-validation becomes a wellspring of confidence that carries you through even the toughest times. You continue on this path, you'll find that fighting alone often means being misunderstood. Not everyone will understand your choices or your journey. Some may criticize, some may doubt. But remember, those who have never dared to stand alone will never fully grasp the strength it takes to do so. Your journey is yours alone, and you do not need anyone else's understanding or approval to validate it. In learning to fight alone, you'll discover the power of your own voice. You'll learn to speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, to stand up for what you believe in, even when you stand alone. This voice, authentic and strong, becomes a powerful force for change in your own life and in the world around you. You grow stronger, you'll find that your perception of challenges shifts. What once seemed like insurmountable obstacles become opportunities for growth. Problems become puzzles to solve. Setbacks become setups for comeback. This resilience, this ability to find opportunity in adversity, is one of the greatest gifts of learning to fight alone. In this journey, you'll learn the importance of self-care. Fighting alone does not mean running yourself into the ground. It means knowing when to rest, when to recharge, when to nurture yourself. It is about understanding that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is what allows you to keep fighting, to keep moving forward. You embrace the strength to fight alone, you'll find that your relationships transform. You'll attract people who respect your strength, who are inspired by your courage. You'll form connections based on mutual respect and shared values rather than need or these relationships, built on a foundation of individual strength. Remember, learning to fight alone is not about reaching a destination. It is not about becoming some idealized version of strength. It is about embracing the journey of continuous growth and self-discovery. It is about waking up each day with the courage to face whatever challenges come your way, knowing that you have the inner resources to handle them. We conclude this continuation of our journey. I want to leave you with this final thought. The strength to fight alone is not just about surviving, it is about thriving. It is about living life fully, authentically, and courageously. It is about making your unique mark on the world. about fulfilling your potential and helping others do the same. Go forth, my friends, with the knowledge that you have within you everything you need to face life's challenges. Embrace the journey of learning to fight alone and watch as you become the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. The world is waiting for your unique gifts, your unique voice, your unique strength. It is time to show them what you're made of.